chairman of the GMMA. So thank you guys for being here today. We've got a great agenda. We have a great meeting planned for you today. And we're always blessed and thankful to have a place like Daltile to welcome us and host us and give us a tour a little bit later of their great facility and the people that they have here employed. So we're thankful for them. So thank you, Daltile, for hosting us. The Muskogee staff put a little kit together that each one of you have in front of you. And in that are minutes from our last meeting, our June meeting. And it talks a little bit about the agenda that we had then and the attendees. And so I would like to see if we could get a motion to approve those minutes from our June meeting.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. So approve meetings from our June meeting. Thank you very much. Before we get started and ask Daltile to come up and tell us a little bit about them, I would like just really quickly, because we're a big crowd today, just raise your hand, shout out your name and who you're with, and we'll get around real quick.
Scott Mitchell, Advantage Terrified. Andy Morris, Advantage Terrified.
Dan Morris, Advantage Controls.
Tim Thompson, OG&E. Dylan Smith, Sway Law. Nick Marziel, Sway Law.
Jerry Hooper, Indian Capital.
Kathy Adair, Indian Capital.
Wendy Flawless, Burroughs Construction.
Fred Aiken, Burroughs Construction.
Aaron Gill, Burroughs Construction.
Johnny Miller, Burroughs Construction.
William Whitfield, Meridian Brick.
April Morleo, Indian Capital.
James Wade, Burroughs Construction. James Arterberry, Meridian Brick.
Nick Morris, Advantage Controls.
Juan Guevara, Meridian Brick.
Marshall, Meridian Brick.
Anthony James, Pratt Industries.
Jerry Skaggs, Meridian Brick.
Lindsay McCall, Port of Muskogee.
Craig McNeil, Daltile.
Kristen Crollo with the Muskogee County Health Department.
All right. Hey, you got quit eating?
Barry.
Very proud, Tommy.
Let's come back this way. Let's go back.
Nate Burton, Griffin.
John Griffin, Griffin Foods.
Darren Smith, Griffin Foods.
Patrick Johnson, Griffin Foods.
Kevin Ishmael, Center Tech.
Debbie Baker, Center Tech.
Brittany Washington, Center Tech.
Chuck Foster, Port of Muskogee.
Gary Robinson, Center Packaging.
Tom Strother, Georgia Pacific.
Stuart Gary, OI.
Stephen Sackley, Engineer.
Lee Butler, Acme Engineering.
Jennifer Justice, Global Machine. Judy McCombs, Oklahoma Manufacturing Alliance, Indian Capital Technologies.
Robert Smith, Omni Valley.
Angela Wilson with the Muskogee Chamber of Commerce.
Stella Aldridge, Acme Engineering. Sharon Harrison, Oklahoma Manufacturing Alliance.
Yeah, Dave Lippert, plant manager of Muskogee, Oklahoma, Daltile.
Kathleen Smith, Daltile.
Joseph Bullitt, Daltile.
Thank you, guys. Well, thanks everyone for coming. Really nice crowd today. Must see the fall like weather in the middle of August. So right now, what we'll ask is, we'll ask for Dave and Joseph to come up from Daltile. They're going to give us a little introduction to their business, and then we'll bring our speakers in.
All right, well, thanks everybody for coming. That's a great turnout.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of you folks have been here before, and that's great to have you back. Real quick wise, if you don't mind, tell us who all plan on staying for the tour so we can kind of start that. So, good deal of you. You got that, Barry?
Yeah. He ran out of fingers and toes there.
Okay, so good. No problem. That'll work out good for us. So again, welcome to Daltile. It's probably changed a little bit since you guys were last year. We hosted this last time. We did a little bit of upgrade around here. We kind of like the way this turned out. So you guys will see some changes as you walk through. Business is pretty good for us. Working hard at it. We're still 24/7. Right now we're running all under roof on both ends of the building, right around 400 folks. So we've got the plant, we have the distribution center. For us, again, this is our 15th year, so that's great for us. As far as the new stuff, we got one today.
Yeah, I guess what, about 8, 9 months ago since y'all been out there? So, as far as, new things that we're around the facility, of course, we have a lot of new tile, a lot of new paint, front offices we're done, tech rooms, painting, all the rest of it, upgraded. We finished our printing technology, our projector line. We bought 2 of those since you all been here last, so we have a couple of that. years now. I'm on my fourth year here, so I kind of dot around the United States and work a lot of product groups. This facility here, I think, is one of the better ones. I know everybody says, yeah, you don't say that on the facility you're in, but this plant here is the largest in our North American, out of our North American plants. Make right about 500,000 square feet a day. So that's a little under 1 million pounds of material that comes through the facility. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of good people. So really enjoyed my stay in Muskogee. I hope I get to stay here until I retire. There's a lot of good lakes, a lot of good camping, and the sun is a lot brighter than in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So really enjoyed it. So I'll go with you on the tour. So Joseph, you have some stats?
So for us, as you said, we've been here 15 years, 24/7, cranking out that 500,000 square foot. That'll equal out to, depending on give or take, somewhere around 168 million or so for the year. As far as the facility size, we're 1.3 million square foot. A lot of good things that we're doing in partners with some new folks around here. One of our biggest things we started around here is a healthy business wellness awareness type thing. And you'll see some of that stuff as you go through some of our break rooms. We've got an open market type environment. So for you folks that want to look into that, as we look through some of the stuff we'll talk about today, we can show you how you can do some of that stuff. We worked out partnerships with lots of folks around the state, and folks are like what we're doing here. We're sharing some of those things. So a lot of good things we're looking at. Our relationships with obviously our team members, and how we're growing those and sustaining those. So welcome. We'll go ahead and get to the meeting here, and we'll catch you back up and do the tour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and again, thanks to Cal Power for last hospitality. So today we've got a treat. Sharon Harrison is going to speak with us today. I had the pleasure of hearing Sharon probably a couple months ago, and then over in Pryor, and so I know you guys are going to enjoy and take from what she has to present to us today. So a little bit about Sharon. She is currently kind of in a new role for the OMA. She focuses on facilitating employer-driven workforce solutions among manufacturers. So that's the kind of stuff we're all looking for. Prior to that, she was an extension agent for the Alliance, where she worked with a lot of companies, a wide range of projects, doing a lot of stuff all over the place. So she is very familiar in the manufacturing environment. So it's not just workforce, but she's been around factories for a really long time. She was a director of experiential learning at the University of Central Oklahoma, which I sent 2 kids through there, so I paid them a lot of money. And she promoted learning by doing, and helped students engage in the community. Within Oklahoma, she's worked at Kimray, responsible for design and implementation of the learning culture, and she's held roles both nationally and internationally in private industry, education, and the public sector, coordinating and developing workforce training initiatives. So Ms. Harrison is currently completing her doctorate. Good for you. It's impressive. Researching the Oklahoma Manufacturing Skills Institute. So without further ado, help me welcome.
Well, welcome. It's always great to be in a different part of the state. As you can hear, I'm not from Oklahoma, but I mean, it's not surprising. I sometimes tell people when they ask me where I'm from, I said, oh, I'm from Shamrock, Texas. They sort of look at me, but I'm from the north of Ireland, and I hope if you haven't been to Ireland, you get to go someday. But Oklahoma's my home. I've been here for 20 years. Worked in Chicago, Dallas, and New Orleans, and then came here 20 years ago with my husband's job and raised our kids here. So we love Oklahoma, and this is my home now today. Being from Ireland, we love golf, and if you haven't noticed that there on the screen, everyone plays golf in my family. Do we have any golfers in this room? Raise your hand if you're a golfer. Okay, even if you're not a very good golfer, raise your hand. Okay, see more hands went up there. So we are. Well, we love golf. changed a lot over the years. The ball has changed with technology, and the golf club has also changed. And how you play the game of golf has changed. The game of golf today is a game of strategy as well. There's a lot more thinking that goes behind it, and you've really not got to know your equipment. Well, a lot of times it's the same for us in manufacturing. Our game has changed, and it's going to change anymore. Do we have any volunteers that would like to show us how to swing a club? I brought one with me. All right. Do we have any volunteers? Come on. Do we have someone that's willing?
I'm gonna try to lie back up so you don't hit anybody.
Okay, I know. Okay, well anyhow, we're all a little bit shy here, that's okay. But, this is, our golf club, and I'm just using this as an illustration of drivers. But if we think of our manufacturing workforce today, we have 3 key drivers that we're gonna talk about today that are impacting the workforce. And they're impacting the workforce at a rate that has been so great and is gonna continue to be even great for us, and it's gonna be hard sometimes to keep up. If we look back at the history of the US, and I was looking at this recently, we think of World War II. And World War II for the US in manufacturing really gives you that global presence. A lot of your innovation, your technology that you were able to produce for the war machine and help my family and everybody else in World War II has made you and grown your economy to where you are today. But now this is even more of a challenge than we faced in World War II and what we're facing as a nation and also globally with workforce. So the 3 things that we're going to look at today and the 3 challenges, can you see this okay? Okay. You all right with the light? Is technology. Obviously technology and the changes that are coming are really impacting our workforce. The second huge change that's impacting our workforce is education trends. There's a lot of them happening, and we're going to touch on those today. And the third one is labor market trends. And when we talk about workforce, I just wanted to illustrate, when we mean workforce, we're not only talking about the pipeline, we are talking about the skilling of every single employee and individual in their lifetime, okay? So we're taking it as a lifetime approach. It's great to see some of the technology partners here today as well, because that's the business that they are in to help within the community. So these are the 3 trends that we are going to look at today. And then at the end, what I'm going to talk about is some solutions to counteract those drivers and those changes. And then because of time, if we have time, we can do some Q&A here. And that may be something that's fruitful for all of you. My background has been for 30 years in training and development. My passion is developing people. And that's what I did in education and industry. Did go into Kimray. That was my first exposure to manufacturing. Before that, I'd worked in a lot of different industries, but I grew up in a manufacturing family. My grandparents and great-grandparents worked in the shipyards building boats, big ships in Ireland, and my dad was a manufacturer of diesel generators. So I grew up in a manufacturing family. I was one of those kids, which I'm sure some of your kids are, that would spend the weekend running around the factory. So I love manufacturing. So technology, and these technology, I'm not going to go into them in detail, but they're trends that are out there. And it was great to hear, obviously, some of the changes that are coming down here in Daltile. But we are now in the 4th Industrial Revolution. If you've not heard that phrase, the 4th Industrial Revolution. And what is the digital revolution was the 3rd Industrial Revolution. And now the 4th Industrial Revolution is really taking all of the technologies, the digital technologies, and combining it with the human. I mean, it's scary stuff, some of it, when you look at biomedical sides of it, and combining the human with the technology. Even some people sort of think it's odd. I have a son who's got on to grad school, and this, you may laugh, but what he's studying is the philosophy of artificial intelligence. Okay, and that's at UC Davis, and the reason is a lot of the tech companies are having a lot of ethical concerns around technology and around embedding it with humans within our facilities and within our way of life. So a lot of people are looking at that. Additive manufacturing, advanced design, digital testing, advanced materials. I was meeting with a manufacturer the other week, and they are working a lot with nanotubes and the composites for airplanes. I thought, okay, that's pretty amazing stuff when they start explaining to you and what they're doing. Fluorescent nanoparticles, solar cells, and genomics. I mean, all of these are all part of the technology trends. The Internet of Things are the industrial Internet of Things, and that is how we are combining, again, within manufacturing, the human with the digital technology. So when you do that, and we think of our workforce, we have disruption. Today, in the S&P 500, the prediction is that by 2025, that 50% of the companies in the S&P 500 will no longer be in that list. They will be new companies, new innovative companies that are dealing with all of these advanced technologies. So we have to understand it to be able to address it. The second, so with those technologies, this is a really important thing for us to understand is our labor markets are going to be disrupted. This is a report, a global report from the World Economic Forum, and it's quite recent, just within the last few months. When you look at the US, globally, we are going to face and are beginning to face the largest labor market disruption in the whole world. I obviously from Ireland, have a brother who lives in London, and every time I visit my brother, he asks me the same question. He says, are Americans buying? Why do you have to ask me that? And he says, because if they're not buying, the world economy is not functioning properly. And no pressure on us Americans, you know, today, but globally you forget. Even in Muskogee, you may consider that you are, you know, outside of the city, but what you're doing is contributing globally, and you're impacting in a huge way the workforce in the market. So these are jobs that are going to be displaced. Now this is where some people go, okay, this is terrible, they're all going to go, we bring in robotics, things change. But you know what, let's look at this positively, because this is really what's going to happen. These are the jobs that are created. So this is a positive thing for us. And what we're trying to do at the European Manufacturing Alliance is try to make people realize, let's embrace this disruption, these drivers, these changes positively. We're at an exciting time in industry where we get to create new jobs. Does anyone here have kids starting elementary school this fall, or maybe started? A few of you have. Well, out of kindergartners going into kindergarten this year, 50% of them will go into jobs that have not been created today. I'm going to repeat that. Of kindergartners going into school today, they are going to end up at 18 or 22 in jobs that have not been created today. That's huge. That's a key disruption, a driver to all of us, because what we're going to have to do is come up with ways to create these jobs. They're going to drive these exciting, positive changes that are happening within our workforce. So I'm just going to make sure here that I have a lot of statistics, and I want to make sure I don't forget the statistics, all of you. So education. So if we're gonna have all of this disruption, we're gonna have these new jobs created to be able to meet the technology changes. Education is going to have to change. With education, if we look at Oklahoma, these are the most recent figures on our state website. So if you look for every 10 high school graduates, fall first time entering college, 5, it's actually 47% will go. Students persisting, it's actually 3.7, so 37%. If you're not aware of this, it's just interesting to know that for college-bound students, that the time they're more than likely to leave college is the first full semester of their sophomore year. Okay, that is the semester where colleges really try to focus on. Years ago, I used to also teach adjunct at UCO, and I was the person that taught kids. I was the last hope. I had all the kids on academic probation. Okay, and you got me when it was time. You either had to make it through this class or you were out. And my goal, and what I saw, which is very, very common, is that kids' education was not necessarily designed for them. It was very hard. Most of them were working full-time and trying to maintain a full-time load. That doesn't work. That doesn't help. A lot of colleges and also a lot of employers have adapted with that, with a flexible work schedule to allow where you needed staff with degrees or even promoting that development, that they could do it online or in the evening. And then graduates with a bachelor's degree, you actually end up, it's 1.5. And then graduate with certificate or associate degree is another, out of 100, it would be 5. So when we look at it, our labor market, when it comes to if we are looking for graduates, is limited. When we look for engineers, and I know we deal with a lot of people looking for engineers, that from our larger universities, 85% of them are leaving the state. I think if you haven't heard, OU announced last week that they are reducing their national merit sponsorship. Did you hear that? They're slashing it in half. And I think those statistics are really filtered by a lot of national merits who come into the state and are going to leave anyhow. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes we've got to look at that statistic more realistically. With our regional universities and then some of our private universities, those statistics are higher. They are staying in the state, they want to stay in the state, and that's actually some of the things that we're trying to work with some internships and other things to try and keep those engineers in the state and other students. So anyhow, the trends are that obviously nationwide, this is really pretty similar. Sometimes we beat ourselves up again in Oklahoma, but these patterns are pretty much national. So those are some of those trends. Also, we're having a growing emphasis on skills and not degrees, okay? Having the right skills. My job in industry was developing a learning culture, teaching people how to develop skill, and actually that's why I chose that topic for my dissertation, because it's really important for me to try and understand what is skill and how can we develop that, because at the end of the day, the people that are going to have the biggest burden and the biggest success in developing skill are yourselves. You're the people that know what skills are needed, what has to be transferred, so equipping you as employers is really important in that skills agenda. We have seen an increase in online learning, and you hear a lot of jargon about it, but it's interesting. Yes, online learning has increased, but what are some of the top skills that you believe that you're looking for, not technical, but we look at non-technical skills in your workforce today, or that you've heard that people are looking for? Anyone, what skills are you looking for that are non-technical? Dash? Like soft skills?
People skills?
People skills, great. Any other skills?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking, and I was glad to have this here today. Some of them are here. Indian Capital are running the supervisory, which lists some of the skills that we're looking for as well.
A good
The
work
top
ethic.
three, pardon?
A good work ethic.
Yeah, good work ethic. The top three skills that employers are looking for today are critical skills, critical thinking skills, creativity, and obviously the ability to learn. Now that ability to learn is so important because we think back to this change that's coming. The fact that you can learn and you can adapt keeps you ahead of the game. 50% of technical knowledge, and there's been research, and any of the reports I mentioned today, if you want them, email me and I'll share them with you, okay? 50% of the technical knowledge learned in an associate's or a bachelor today that's of technical nature is outdated by the time the graduate graduates, okay? Keeping up with those systems is very, very hard with the speed of changes. If you haven't heard about them, I know that the State Department of Higher Ed in Oklahoma is looking at it as micro degrees, and then the career tech system I know is looking at micro-credentialing, and basically what that is, a micro degree is a way to take a few courses and you'll get a certificate, and then that can be applied at a later date if you wanted to degree. So if you hear that terminology, it's a micro degree, a micro certificate, it's basically a launching pad that can expose you, and if you have staff that maybe have an interest in maybe supply chain, that would be something you could be exposed to, you know, and then maybe if you don't want to go that route, you can apply that credit to something else in the future. If you look at with education, surveys have been done on recent graduates and asking them, are you prepared for the workforce? 50% of students coming out of college today say they are no way prepared for the workforce. And it's 40% in our vocational schools that they say they're not prepared for the workforce. So those are interesting trends as well. Moving on from some of the education, newspapers over here, make sure I don't get lost. What's wrong there? Okay, labor market. There's a lot of changes within the labor market. Some of these, for those of your organization, that you may have some short-term projects, you want some innovative ideas, and these are 55% of the workforce today are freelance workers. And freelance workers, 40% of them are between the ages of 18 and 35, and 67% of them are women. And you'll hear me talk a little bit about some of the women, because women are, as we all know within our industry, are non-tapped at workforce resource within the industry. But, so freelance workers, with freelance workers, there's a couple of trends, and one of them is, you've heard of crowdfunding, and I'll have to say it again, someone told me, what are you saying? Crowd, there's my American way of saying it, crowd. And there's crowd workers, and those are workers that, and if you look it up and you can find it, there's sites, just say you wanted a new marketing strategy for your company, you can put it up on that site, and people who want to work on that project enroll, and they help you out and come up with a strategy. Again, with that group of crowd workers, the statistics are interesting is, they're mainly college educated, even have a master's, and they're 70% women. And also, most of them have another job. So that makes you wonder, why are they doing this? And they also have pretty high paying jobs. They do it because they like the task. They like the problem solving, they want to help out, and they love what they do, they have a passion for it. So if you have it and you have a small project, that's something to look out for, is crowd workers. They're quite interesting. Some of the other labor changes are, making sure I don't forget. I've lost some of my papers here, which isn't very good.
You need the light back on?
No, I think I'll get it, crowdsourcing, crowd workers. I have them numbered. Where's my, I've lost a page 6, which isn't very good. There you go. Okay. So anyhow, let's, because of time, move on to some of the solutions that we have. So at the end of the day, we all know change is coming, and you all want to have productive, engaged workers. So what are some of the things that you can do as a manufacturer? Well, one of the first things that I suggest is that you develop a culture and encourage lifelong learning. You can't go wrong with that. Is having opportunities for people to learn and to grow and to adapt their skill. Most young people coming into the workforce, I think the statistic is 65% of them surveyed say they will leave if they are not learning. So that's very, very interesting. 65% of young people coming into the workforce today say that I'm not learning, or it's not encouraged where I can learn and try different things, I'm going to leave. So very often I hear a lot of criticism of, and I try to stay away from calling them millennials and going generationally, because if I tell people, actually I'm quite like a millennial, and I'm not 18 or 25, so very often I think it's different characteristics that people have, but generally speaking, if they're not learning, they're going to leave, and that's why it's important for us to survey people when they're leaving and try and get the real reason why they're leaving. So they want a culture of learning. The second thing that is needed is new education partnerships. I know this part of the state, and it's spotty around the state, but I've heard great things here that you work a lot of partnership with the career techs, with the Port of Muskogee, but it's thinking of creative ways to have education partnerships. At the beginning of the talk today, when I was introduced, it was mentioned that I have a new role for the state. The Manufacturing Alliance realized in listening to yourselves and other manufacturers around the state that one of your number one issues is workforce. And it's a huge area, it's a huge niche. And so that is a couple of things that we're doing is we're trying and working on forming partnerships. We're also dealing with the legislative end of things. We're being brought in looking at some bills that are actually being designed at the moment in Congress to support manufacturing and your workforce. So we're trying to help with those education partners on a state level to help manufacturers, and I know a lot of you, and we have other solutions for that. A couple of people in the room are part of it, but we've put together, and we would love anyone who's in a decision-making role within their facility. We have a state committee of employers that are looking, just manufacturers, that are looking at workforce issues within the state. So new education partnerships. The next thing is an innovative education framework. What you've done, and have always done, probably isn't going to work in the future when it comes to educating your workforce. And those are the hard conversations. And the reality is, in manufacturing, most of us have not had even a learning culture in place within our facility. And it can be overwhelming to think, how are we going to give people the right skill and get them adapt to the workforce changes? But it can be done, and it is being done all around the world. The other one is building a skill ecosystem. This is actually one of the things I'm going to be sharing with our committee. We have within the state a career clusters and career ecosystems, but a skill ecosystem is really where you're partnering also with other manufacturers within the area in certain areas to learn from them and to develop your skills. And it's to really having a concentrated effort on skill systems. The other thing that really needs to happen is rethinking your work organization. When I was in industry, very often the obstacles I had when it came to training development and it came for people to learn new things, well, they have to work that certain amount of time, and there was really no flexibility in the time. As manufacturers, our biggest hurdle is our cost benefit to whether with training. We understand that production can't be stopped in most circumstances to train, but strategically organizations have to make decisions, and tough decisions at times, to train their staff, and also address the question of who's paying for it. Are we paying for their time to be trained? Is it going to be on-site? Is it going to be off-site? I mean, these are all the conversations that we have to have, and rethinking our work organization. We're also going to be sharing in the future, after September, I'm willing to be sharing with other people, is some new job descriptions to do with all of the new jobs that are coming down the pipeline for manufacturers. So I will make sure that you also get copies of those. The last one, and probably the hardest one, and the driver to keep us abreast of change, is leading through change. For management and company ownership, this is the hardest thing. Change is almost like the stages of grief for a lot of people in the workforce. I mean, it really is. Some people embrace it. I mean, obviously, I'm a person who's moved different countries and cities, and I like change, but a lot of people don't. A lot of staff don't like it, and it can be very much set in their ways. And even management don't like change. So one of the things that we're working on developing, and I know again this is something that the career tech partners, if they don't do it, and that I would suggest, is change management courses to help people to learn as they're managing, that they're managing through change, because it's very different type of supervision and leadership when you're dealing with people, and it's very important to retain trust through that. These are the key things and some of the solutions that will help us address the key drivers. But, you know, I'm the kind of person that to me it's exciting, but it is going to be very hard, but you're going to have a very different workforce in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. But the fact that you're even here today and part of this organization shows that you're a person who wants to learn. You're here to learn every month or every other month whenever you meet, by having the tour and leaning on each other and learning from each other. We want to be your partner in the OMA. I know Judy's a great partner and resource with you, but we'd love you to join us on our journey. If you have any questions or anything, we're always here to help you with that. Please feel free to email me. Any questions in the last few minutes? Anyone? Yes.
I was curious, in the survey that you were talking about, where 40% of the tech students said they were not prepared for the workforce, does that survey get into why they feel that way?
Yes, and the main reason that tech students are not prepared for the workforce is that in some vocational, they may be learning the technical skills, but when they transfer those skills to the workplace, the machinery's very different. And that raises a very good point. And I think this is important for career techs as well, that in manufacturing, that whenever students have the theory, that's really all that they need. Because to have those GD&T, you know, your measurement skills, all of those theoretical skills, that then the manufacturer, very often you have your own systems, and you're gonna train on those anyhow. So most success is normally lead with very good theoretical skills. Another point is interesting for management, and this relates back to this course, and sorry I'm pushing their supervisory course here, but in manufacturing, the environment that has the greatest skill development is whenever you have good team leads. Team leads with discernment and display discernment, and that's basically trust of their staff, have a better success rate of training up their staff. So very often we put our managers through the training in manufacturing, but really at the end of the day, it's our team leads and our supervisors that are the people that are gonna make the impact on the workforce. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your question, and have a great tour. Lovely to meet you all.
Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. We'll bring you back just for your accent.
I'm always good in March.
Very good, very good. So, right now, this is time during our meetings when we kind of get to talk about each other a little bit and find out if anyone in the room, any of the manufacturers here in the Muskogee area has anything they'd like to share as far as your business goes. Anything going on at your plant, anything going on with your business that you would like to share with this group? Anything new, any expansions, any technologies? Anybody? Got a couple.
I'm here with Tim, but he won't look at me. He's from Muskogee, for those of you that don't know. We have our first bill from our new facility, Anthony, and you'll get a kick out of this. Our electric bill, $24, I'm sorry, $25.60.
Wow.
For the month of July. We put solar panels on the roof. We sent OG&E back 190 kilowatts of power.
Very nice. Are you happy about that, or?
Ecstatic about it.
Good job, good job.
Just like to let everyone know that we're still in the business of training. It's kind of odd talking about education today, but you have some new industrial maintenance traders. They're at our facility. One of the gentlemen you know real well used to be at GMMA here with us is Ken Scott. He retired from Metals USA, but I coerced him to come in and train with us. But he used to be a drill sergeant, but he's calmed down a little bit in the classroom. But excellent instructor, very intelligent. So if you need any type of training, he's really electrical, but he can do it all. Another gentleman from OG&E, I know GP, he's an engineer there. His name's Jeremy Bouchard, excellent trainer also. So we're offering any type of training, the skill set, add to your employees' skill set is what we're after. But I do have a training coming up. It's gonna be funded through Career Tech. That's machining, really CNC machining training. So, and it's not gonna cost your employees or anybody you know anything. We've got a grant through Career Tech. So if anybody that needs to add to their skill set, or somebody that wants to advance their education, we're gonna try to start that about the Tuesday after, I think, Labor Day weekend. So got HVAC, always have that type of training going on. One of the best instructors, I believe, in the state. I'm trying to help Mr. Skaggs out. He wanted the HVAC class, but he's only got a couple of folks. And to try and offset some of the costs, I'm trying to get a couple more in there with him. So, but we're still in the business of training your folks out there, and that's what we do. If that's you, you don't need us. But like I said, I'm your industrial coordinator, so if you need anything, just let me know, or Gabby, or April, anybody. So,
Thank you, appreciate it.
number of you in here have taken advantage of our energy rebate programs at OG&E for lighting. Again, I know a few of you have, don't care if everybody goes as far as Dan has with his, but OG&E has a number of LED lighting rebate program, new equipment, air compressors, pumps, large motors for industrial uses. So, and then even on top of that, for your employees, we have a number of energy saving programs for your residential houses. We have a weatherization program for low income folks, and then home energy audits also. So please get with us if you got any lighting projects or anything like that.
Well, I get to speak up following that because that's part of my job as well. We've got 4 projects going right now here in Muskogee for OG&E rebates either last year or into next year, and also working on any new equipment that saves energy. So we also work on data. One thing to add to what Jerry said, we do offer training and leading through change. It's part of our supervisory academy level 2, but we can also do it as a separate module. So if you're interested, give one of us a call.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other new business? We have a couple of things that we're going to get to specifically as far as the membership here. Any other new business or announcements? Okay, good. Is Tim Campbell here?
No, he's not. He's not here.
Oh, wait, he's not here?
No, he hasn't been.
Okay, so I didn't know if he was gonna talk a little bit about the, he had a topic of unemployment insurance rate. We'll catch that next meeting. We'll let him explain some of those things that are going on. That's the day of business. So right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about the, certified healthy businesses. So, Greg, come on up.
Sure, why not? Everybody see it? Got the lights? My name's Craig McNeil, and I'm the HR supervisor here with Dow Tile. And this is my friend Kristen Carollo. She is from the Muskogee County Health Department. She works with TSET Healthy Living. And we're here to talk about a program that Dow Tile participates in, as well as some of y'all participate in, called Certified Healthy Oklahoma.
How's everyone doing today? Did you guys enjoy your speaker? Great.
No.
You didn't enjoy yourself? I enjoyed it. It was really great. One of the things that I noticed that she talked about was leading through change. And one of the programs that I help oversee and then I partner with Craig is called Certified Healthy Oklahoma. And what we do is it's free, it's voluntary, it's statewide. There's lots of different places, lots of different communities, lots of different businesses that participate in it. There's businesses, campuses, communities, congregations, even early childhood programs, and restaurants and schools. And Muskogee County is one of the counties that actually leads as far as the number of participants, but we want to lead through change and increase that number. So we are challenging the Muskogee County to be better and move more people that for free through this program.
So there are some benefits to this program, and one of those benefits is it challenges work sites to make the healthy choice the easiest choice for their employees. And that's a commitment that we've made in our facility to help our employees make that healthy decision. Also, healthy employees are proven to be more productive and have a direct impact on the bottom line. When you're healthy, you are at work, you are being productive. When you are not healthy, you're probably maybe ill at home. Businesses and the community both can use Certified Healthy as a recruitment and retention strategy for top employees and employers. We talk actively about a healthy business here when we recruit people, as well as when we bring them aboard and about our project here. But today in Oklahoma, we're the 43rd healthiest state. In 2011, we were worse off, but we've kind of lived in this environment today. We need to remember back in 1992, a long time ago, we were 32nd. So there was a hopeful future then that we've kind of let go of regarding our health in the state of Oklahoma. Well, health doesn't just happen in Oklahoma, it happens in Muskogee County. We're the 66th healthiest county out of 77 in the state of Oklahoma. We are towards the bottom of that in terms of health outcomes. Well, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, we were the 44th ranked county. So we have decreased. Now, our friends at Pryor, who also have a fabulous manufacturing zone, they're now the 50th county in the state. So if I'm an employer that's looking for a location and I'm considering the health of the community, I may consider Pryor over Muskogee. Fortunately, we have some really active groups building community gardens. We have 11 miles of walking and biking trails in Muskogee. We have a very active biking group. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on in Muskogee regarding health and wellness, but employers also need to do their part to improve the health and wellness of our community. In Muskogee County, 40% of our population is considered obese. We've lost 9% towards obese. We're 9% higher now than we were in 2011. Way back in the day, we were 12.6%. So we have really decreased in obesity. The good news is on adults tobacco use. Back in the day, we were about 30% tobacco use in the state. Muskogee County in 2011 was 31% tobacco users. We're down to 21%. We're just slightly above the state average at about 19.6%. It's the lowest Oklahoma's ever been. We lose more tobacco users in Oklahoma today than any other state in the country. In addition to that, obesity in Oklahoma is down 1% too. This is a big thing for us too. But we're doing these things in Oklahoma because communities and businesses and the state are working on those things together to raise the awareness that we need to be healthier so we can go to work and be productive and contribute. Oklahoma Health Certified also provides recognition for your hard work in health and wellness. Many of you have a health and wellness program or you have something that you're working on. This program can provide recognition for that. And Certified Healthy is also a guide of evidence and science-based interventions that help you build a health and wellness program. It's based in the CDC Worksite Wellness program for the Centers of Disease Control. So if you don't have a wellness program and you want to say, where's my checklist, how do I start? Certified Healthy provides that list where you can make impact. So,
And you can kind of see me if you want help with that. So these are the application requirements. There's 10 sections. And it's really, it looks like it's a lot, but it really is very simple. And I know a few, like you were saying, a few of you guys that are in here actually have companies that already participate in it. But you can see there's organizational support, tobacco control, nutrition, physical activity, stress management, mental health, chronic disease prevention, occupational health and safety, health promotion, and community resources. Most of you don't realize though that you guys are doing a lot of these things already. You may do them through safety, you may do them through something that you do daily at work or that you do weekly at work. But part of the requirements are that it has to be smoke-free indoors and out. And as you guys know, there was a recent thing passed with the dollar increase for tax on the smoking, which actually has helped decrease smokers as well. You also have to meet a certain required number of points. It's really easy to get those points as well. It comes through doing these activities, and there's a way to see even if you meet the point requirements while you fill out the application. Certified Healthy Oklahoma has a website that you can go to. It's certifiedhealthyok.com, and the applications have already opened up. They opened up August 1st, and they close November 1st at midnight or 11:59.
So smoke-free and tobacco-free is challenging for organizations to take on, but we applied for Oklahoma Healthy Business when we were a smoke-free building, which meant basically this white space right here in the middle was our tobacco-free zone, and you could smoke outside. You go to a smoke shop. And we applied and we were able to achieve this particular recognition that we're tobacco-free. That was in 2015. In 2016, we implemented a tobacco-free property with a written policy, and we were using partnerships in our community that included our neighbors. Because we don't own all the property you see, but the port is kind enough to say, nah, not so much on our property there. And the railroad is kind enough to say, well, that's probably unsafe. You shouldn't be smoking in the middle of the tracks. Things like that had to be put into place to support our wellness, our tobacco-free policy. And it's migrated and we've evolved. In 2018, we expanded our area to include additional partners, and we enhanced our our policy to include applicant notification. So everybody that comes to work for us now gets a piece of paper that says, here's our tobacco-free policy, and if you choose to work for us, this is the company support we provide to help you quit through our insurance or through our efforts. So we're really high on the notification that, because it's scary for a tobacco user to come work someplace that doesn't understand the tobacco zone. We have used partners, partnering with the Muskogee County Health Department, the Muskogee Wellness Initiative, Cherokee Nation, TSET. We borrowed some things from the Turning Point Council, What to Quit Now, and Shape Your Future. All those things provide some support for our program, and they can for yours as well. So be aware that those partnerships can be critical to having a robust wellness project, or if you just need help starting.
So like you were saying, if you need partners, here are some of our partners through Certified Healthy that have actually applied, become certified. And there are things at like the Turning Point Council here in Muskogee that actually people there can actually help you achieve what everyone on the list has achieved as well. There's lots of partners, there's lots of people in this community that are willing to help, and willing to give back, and that we know them or they're a part of the things that we do. So we wanna make sure that you're aware of these resources as well. On your table, there is a folder that we put together for you. It has a lot of information. It has my card in it as well if you have questions. But we wanna make sure that you're aware of the opportunities that a lot of people don't know about, or the resources that are available in this community. A lot of people don't know what the Muskogee County Health Department does. A lot of people don't know what TSAC does. And we wanna make sure that you are aware of this. So if you guys have any questions, or if you do wanna start wellness, or if you have a wellness program and it's not where you want it to be, we can help you with this. And we have lots of partners and a lot of community resources to do this. So we wanna help you apply for Certified Healthy Oklahoma, and if you don't know where to start, give us a call. We can definitely step in, meet with you, come to you, see what you need, do assessments, or whatever it is that you need help with.
Absolutely. There's some great resources there. Y'all are leaders in your organization. If I didn't have Dave and Joseph saying you have permission to do things, we wouldn't be doing things. And it just takes your word, and you're handing off this folder and this information to whoever your champion is, your HR person is, and saying, let's see where we can go to make a difference for the health of the people that you're working with. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. For those that were with us last month, we made an announcement about the 10th anniversary of the GMMA. It's hard to believe, but the GMMA has been around for 10 years. We've had, and really a great organization involved in taking opportunities and advantages of working together and partnering together and learning from each other. It's just a really good group of folks for our community, and I think it's helpful for us all to try to participate and be a part of that. One of the things that the staff at the port and myself and Jeff O'Neill, who's our vice chair, were thinking about was how could we further influence our community for manufacturing? Because we talk about education, we talk about getting our kids exposed to manufacturing early so they can do some things. Lindsay's gonna talk a little bit about Dream to Do It here in just a second, I think, right? Yeah, but real quick, but we came up with this idea, really Jeff came up with it, of having a GMMA scholarship fund, foundation, where we can select someone from our community that's going to enter into some sort of education, either at the trade level or whatever level, but it's really specific to manufacturing or to the manufacturing arena. How we might be able to help those people that want to get that type of education. So in honor of our 10th year, we're going to have a GMMA scholarship, and we all have to partner together to make that happen. It's hard for one person to climb a mountain like that, but with as many manufacturers as we have in our group, if we all kicked in a little bit, we would be able to have a very nice, very significant scholarship opportunity for someone who's interested in manufacturing in our area. Now, there's a lot of details and a lot of process and procedures that are coming around that. We met yesterday for quite some time and made a lot of headway on that. So all of that detail is going to be coming fairly soon. But I just wanted to plant the seed today to get you guys thinking about how we all might partner together to help our local community get engaged more in manufacturing. And I think that's what we all want. And so keep a lookout for more information coming in the next couple of months. We're going to try to get this done so that we'll have an application event that will happen in the spring, next spring, so that they'll be able to get a scholarship for the fall of 2019. Okay? Lindsay, did you have anything you wanted to present today?
I'm just going to talk for just a minute. Some of you already come to our Dream It, Do It meetings, but I just want to extend the invitation to everyone in this room. Our Dream It, Do It effort, we're trying to expand everything we're doing. Right now, we do classroom visits, plant tours, but I'm one person, so I can't be at every school and every classroom, and so we're also making videos. We have a wonderful Valorec video that I can share with all of you. I think with time today, we're gonna skip it. But we want to be able to partner with any of you and come in and do a video of your facility, so that way the students can know what you're doing. Also, I'm really excited. We just got the go-ahead for our first manufacturing club. And so Muskogee High School is gonna be our pilot program, and we're starting this fall. And so I'm going to be coming to everyone in this room, so that way I can bring those students in that club, that they can come visit, do plant tours, and then you can also come talk to them. Because again, we can only do so many plant tours, during school. And so if anybody has questions about Dream It, Do It, please let me know, and I would be glad to give you more information. And our next meeting is Tuesday at 3:30, so.
Very good, thank you. It's a great program. I'm sure a lot of you have had kids and some educators out at your facility. But what better way to get these youngsters, get their eyes open to what manufacturing is? A lot of them don't have a clue. They don't have a clue where things come from. They don't have a clue how things get made, and they certainly haven't thought about a career in manufacturing. So this is great for us to be able to start at that level, so that we can continue that labor pipeline is going to be increasingly difficult to fill. So with that, I think, mark your calendars. We're still working with Senator Langford. We hope to have something with him in September, but we'll get you some details on that. So we don't have a hard set date for our next meeting. We'll communicate with you as best we can. Anything else? Okay, so for the tour, I'll let the